Welcome to another episode of Zentown Heroes. I'm your host Melt, and today with me is Uberox,
Yo, what's up, guys?
the community star, the #1 content creator for Ark of War's official channel. Thanks for being here.
The kind of number one, but not really.
Hey,
Melt's number one, but thank you.
you were just mentioning in the pre-chat you've got the cool color chat. Now Uberox is
Yeah, I
technically
do.
sound, so you can show us your screen. I want to see that. I want to show the world that because I keep trying to show people and I always mess it up. See, it's right here. Mine's empty, but if I show you Uberox's,
Okay.
check out his chat.
What?
Now, there's not a lot of people that have this.
I'm the only one, actually.
You're the only one in the world?
For now, at least.
I thought I
Laser
saw.
lights.
Dude, that is sick. That is sick. And that goes so well with the
I
theme.
I actually turn it off when I'm just in normal chat because I feel like it's too. I don't know what the word is. It's just too like flashy. But it really helps in like galactic battle because I'm the battle commander for our STL, so I can just spam it and then people have to like look at what I have to
Right.
say.
They can't say I didn't see it. It's like, I know you saw it. You weren't paying attention. So you were previously in SON. Are you in STL now? Is that the deal?
Oh no, SON. I've got a little nemesis arc that I'm just we have this thing called the Interstellar Police where we just send our little nemesis baby tyrants to those arcs to just mess with people, because it gets boring on your main server where the stakes are so high and stuff.
Yeah, so the point of today's episode, right? There's a lot of stuff to talk about. One of the things is that we have very similar backgrounds in the fact that we have a presence online and people associate us with Ark of War. But I'm more focused on galactic battle, super late game meta, and a lot of your channel does talk about some of the late game meta and builds and stuff. But more, it seems like you're more into the day to day, the community play. You're a boss leader, a guild leader, a battle commander.
Yeah.
Is that how you spend a lot of your time, just like messing around server side, talking to people, or?
Yeah, I actually play this game for more the social aspect because I'm not even tier 10 yet, and our guild only has two tier 12 players.
Oh wow,
And we made it to the top 32 this season, which is pretty
dang,
impressive,
yeah,
right? And so how do we get there? It's just through teamwork. And how do we get such good teamwork is just through a lot of communication. And I like to basically make the guild because it's a sandbox game, right? So I try to make the game fun for my members. Basically, my only my how do I say? I would say my motivation or my effort into the game is just how can I make the game more fun for the players in my guild and the players even on our server, right? Because a lot of people think, oh, I hate our enemies, and I want them to leave the server. But I tell everyone, no, like
you
we're the
need them.
heroes and they're the villains.
Yeah,
But who is the hero without the villain? They're
right,
nobody.
right,
So you need the villains.
right.
You need them.
For
So
those of you guys wondering, I probably should get caught up real quick. This is Uberox's YouTube channel. You can find it by just searching Uberox AOW,
yeah.
and then there you go. How do you only have 200 subscribers on this channel?
Well, I have another channel, my main channel, which is for music. And this is just the gaming channel, and I just do everything for fun. So I don't really mind like subscribers. I don't even really care about subscriber numbers. It's
I
no big
do.
deal.
I'd love having another content creator. Like, listen, you bring a whole new set of skills to this that I don't have. Like, just even looking at your Discord, you have an entire Discord setup, which is really well
Yeah.
organized. It looks good. You've got the right animations. It's just clean. It's high tech. It's just everything about it's on the edge, which is cutting edge, right?
Thank you.
And then
Thank
in
you.
the background, like you've got this nice, like I kind of messed around with something like this, but you've got videos running on top of. So is it just like a still image that's transparent, and then you have videos running behind it that have occasionally kick on, or is it a long? What is that behind you? Is that a video?
Are you talking about the DJ thing or the current video that we're looking at
Yeah,
now?
is that just an MP4?
Oh, so for the VJ stuff, well, because I work as a DJ, right? I play video games, but I'm a musician. So one of the things that I do is I DJ, and as a DJ, I also do some VJ work. So I just use the same software that we use at the nightclub, and I just use it here at home, and that's how I do it. So it's professional software, but it's really not that hard to use.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like the way I would do it, right? The way I would cheaply do it is like I would just go into an editing software, take that image that you have back there and all the elements that aren't moving, I would just make them transparent, and then I would come in behind and just add other videos behind it and then kind of cut it all together and just make it one video. And I guess that would work. I just
Well, it would work, but it would take a lot of effort, and
yeah,
I'm a lazy person, and so I find lazy solutions to everything. And
I
so
need that. Yeah.
basically, the program is very simple. You just click, you load a bunch of videos onto it, and then you just press the button, and it just plays it. So you just click, 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 and then it just plays them. So
And but
very
that
simple.
image, that 18th floor ME 236 Capital Region, is that did you make that or was that a preload?
The current background right here, it's actually a stock video from somewhere that I just found. Like I said, I'm on the computer all the time. I'm a weird guy because I don't sleep a lot, and so that gives me a lot of time to do stuff. So I just go on the internet, I look for stuff, and then this is cool, and I just throw it in the background, and there you go. There it
No, it
is.
is. It's really cool and it adds a nice
Thank you.
element of professionalism. Um,
Well, I mean, you don't want to see my room. It's just boring. Not that my room is bad, it's just boring. So, I
well,
think this is cool. It's like I can role play. This is my
mm-hmm,
arc. This is the
mm-hmm.
inside of my arc. Check
Yeah.
out my arc, guys.
Yeah, inside the ship's captain's law or cabins, whatever. I mean, but I love the fact that this interview naturally migrated to you talking about your music industry work because I don't want to just be like, guys, guess what? Uberox has music video. Now that's super weird.
Yeah.
But you're actually a talented musician. So how do we get you to make some Arc of War music? What is it going to take? How many likes? How many comments? How many subscribers? How much money is it going to take?
Honestly, it's not even about the money, it's more about the concept. That's always the most difficult thing that I found with making music is that everyone wants to make a song, but you need lyrics. What are you going to write about, you know? So, I mean, you can't just write like there's like dumb, boring stuff to write about, but the thing is no one wants to hear about dumb stuff that people have already known. Like you don't want to write like trash cock, Dragon Slayer's OP. Like that's not gonna make a good song. You need something timeless, something that people will really remember.
Okay. All right. Now here's the thing. Now keeping it simple, right? Going with the theme, I want easy stuff, right? What do we have already? We have in-game music and sound bites we can already sample, right? I've got all the files for that. But we've
Yeah.
also got things like,
Don't stop asking, my friend.
right? We can make that a
But
hook.
that's so corny. I've heard those sounds before, and I think they're really corny. Actually, I personally think that Seven Pirates could put a little bit more effort into their sound work. I mean, obviously, as a sound professional, I'm gonna say something like that,
Right.
but like they could do more, and they should, in my opinion. You
For
know,
sure.
we play the game with the sound off, like
Right.
almost all of us do. Why? Because the sound isn't that great.
Yeah. Yeah, and out of nowhere, there's a bird that caws in the background. It's like, there's no birds in space. There's no trees
There's
on.
no birds in space.
But no, I get super hyped about creative projects like that because
Yeah.
you're right. Like they gave us the bare minimum. Does it have in-game sound? Yes. Does it have in-game music? Yes. Okay, check. How do we make more money? It's like, wait,
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
Nixoff faction, Magiwell, Voltar,
Yeah.
give us a reason to root. Like if I'm
Yeah.
Magiwell, like give me a
Magic Will should have their own theme song.
yeah, and then there should be
Yeah.
like Stella is supposed to be the Nixaw hero. She's like a what is she? She's a scientist, and like get a little tribalism built into the game for some stupid RP. Just because it's dumb and people like to do dumb things, give us something to hold on to. But a theme song
Yeah.
for each one. I mean, Uberox, this
Yeah,
is
for
right
each
up your alley.
faction. I know. 7P, hire me.
It
Hire me.
ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work. I know it ain't gonna. It's totally not gonna work.
Actually, though, for like legit, you got a way better chance than I do, right? You actually have a legit media resume, and you speak what, Mandarin?
Chinese. Yeah, Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you speak the language. You've already not ruined your reputation with them like me, and you have a
Yeah.
decent filmography or discography, I guess you'd call it.
Well,
Media resume.
the funny thing is, I actually do video game music as part of my job. But usually, the companies are they have good budgets in terms of like how they're going to spend. They're into marketing. And from my experience with Seven Pirates is that their marketing is basically non-existent, and that's just part of their plan. Do I agree with it? I think they should spend more on marketing and smarter marketing, but I'm not the CEO.
Right. And I think the way that comes about is like, right, they're a small business. They put a lot of money in it to get started. They were behind when they started. Once they started making money, they didn't come forward and say like, "Hey, let's borrow a bunch more money to expand the game." As opposed to a new business or an established corporation would say like, "All right, I'm a marketing professional. Give me
Let's
150
reinvest.
million. Give me 150
Yeah.
million for media ads. I'm going to do 25% radio, 25% TV, 50% internet." So they're looking at their budget. All right, what do I have in the 50% internet? Let's do like 30% to YouTube, 30% to Spotify, 20% here. All right, I got 20%. I got 500,000 left over. Let me hire some young creative people that already know this industry. They have a budget. They have money in hand. They're already approved to spend. As opposed to
Yeah.
Seven Pirates, who it feels like they have the money, but you have to convince somebody who's like a community marketing customer service manager to go to their boss and then say, "Hey, convince your boss that we should put 20 to 50,000 into something substantial." And the boss is going to go, "What am I going to get for it?" It's like it's not their hobby, it's not their thing. Businesses are pursuing passions, and if their passion isn't currently
Yeah.
English marketing or sound for their game, they're not going to fork over the money. But you never know.
I'd have no idea about their CEO, but I would love to talk to their CEO and just talk about the game with them, talk about the company. But, who knows?
Dude, you should. You can go right to their building and knock on the door, pretend you have Starbucks, just have a GoPro mounted on your shoulder. Like, you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The game is what it is to me. Like, honestly, I really like Arc of War a lot, but it is really just a hobby of mine, and I spend a lot of other time doing a lot of other things. So, it I don't know what to say.
Okay, I want to add on to what you're saying there. So, meeting the CEO or president of Seven Pirates would be fascinating, right? Because you are the president
Yeah.
of a game that makes a ton of money digitally,
Yeah.
and you have no real tangible product. You're international, and you're putting up numbers bigger than shoe companies.
Yeah.
And they're not dealing with tariffs, and they're like internet digital, cowboys.
Yeah.
Like they're still the frontier.
Exactly.
So this kind of
And-
thing is new, right? It's new, but it's not new. We've seen this a lot. Do you remember the company New York Seltzer?
No, what's that?
Okay, New York Seltzer is a competitor to Coke and Pepsi. Back in the 80s or 90s, I think the CEO was just this young, extremist, heavily cocaine using guy who came into a ton of money with a new product. He didn't have a board to answer to, so he started doing like, I want to say skydiving things. There was a YouTube video on it. It was hilarious, but he's not the first guy that made a product that all of a sudden made a bunch of money in a new industry. Remember Red Bull? Red Bull got a bunch of money. What did they do? They started sports teams sponsoring extreme sports. Arc of War and Game of War and all these pay-to-win cell phone games, there's an untapped market of like, I don't know, flexing, like weird flexing these guys could do to like get their name out there. I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, he's the CEO of that game. What game is it? And all of a sudden, think of the marketing. If people found out that this crazy character was really the CEO of this crazy game, that would just stop paying Google for your advertising. Use your CEO's Instagram account. That's what I would do.
Well, their CEO might be someone really boring. If I were to talk to the CEO, I would tell him just hire a casino manager. to run your marketing and your game, basically.
Yo, you're
You know,
right.
you know,
You're right.
because this is like a casino. It's like the hooks of this game are like a casino. The addiction, the way that it works, it's like a casino. And casinos have been running for hundreds of years, and they know exactly how to make the customers happy while at the same time making them spend a lot of money.
Yeah, and having their finger on the pulse of what's going on in their community, right? If it's
Very
summertime,
important.
cater to big entertainers and more of the club life. If it's wintertime, cater to more like the older people that are coming there to get out, maybe older entertainers. There's a lot of different elements. That would be great. And it's like there's no shortage of casino managers in China, right? They got all the same vices we do.
Yeah, yeah. Macau is basically the Vegas of China.
I should point that out. So you're Taiwanese, and
I'm American, but I live in Taiwan. Yeah.
okay, American lives in Taiwan. Taiwan is independent of China, depending on who you ask,
Depending on who you ask.
right?
That's right.
But so I guess I would ask that: is there like a weird societal difference there? Do Taiwanese get treated differently than people from Hong Kong versus the people from the mainland, or is it kind of blending all together now?
Taiwan's a great place to be. I've been to China many, many times, and I think that the easiest way to kind of just say is just like Taiwan is very similar to New York, actually. I live in Taipei, which is the capital. It's like New York, and it's like a less advanced New York, I would suppose. That's kind of how it is. But if you go to China, things are a little bit different there. It can get a little weird over there. I don't want to say anything more about that before we get political.
Yeah, that's yeah. Let's try to avoid the politics. Yeah. So you're in Taipei. You're a metropolitan area. How is quarantine going? Are you still in lockdown? Are you masking everywhere?
Yeah, we use masks and stuff, but there's no coronavirus here, so everything is totally normal. I still work my DJ job. Clubs are packed, because there are no cases in Taiwan.
That's awesome. Don't hear about that on
Yeah.
the news. Huh.
Yeah, someone covered it up, but guess what, guys? There's no coronavirus here. You can
Huh.
come
Huh.
to Taiwan. Actually, I think Taiwan's not open yet. The airport's closed, but they may open it soon.
Does Taiwan care? And I'm going to touch politics just because I'm genuinely curious. Does
Sure.
Taiwan care anything about American politics? You ever hear about Trump or Biden or the Clintons?
Oh, absolutely. Because
Oh,
basically
imports.
Taiwan is basically propped. Like Taiwan can remain a country because of America. So, it's very important, because without America, then basically China would take over, I suppose. I mean, just look at Tibet and then look at Hong Kong. And why hasn't that happened to Taiwan? Because America's in the way. It's yeah, it's not really politics, that's just the facts.
Yeah, and that's generally agreed. Well, okay, let's not touch that. But how about Taiwan as a manufacturer, right? Because everyone knows
Yeah.
every electronic ever made comes out of China, or at least we're led to believe that. Realistically,
Yeah.
PCBs and circuit boards are all made in China. But a
Hmm.
lot of companies, including Seven Pirates,
Yeah.
have a Hong Kong headquarters or a Taiwanese or Taipei
Right.
headquarters. And a lot of the
Yeah.
factories, they actually buy from mainland China, right? Import to
Hmm.
Taiwan and then sell overseas. Is that a lot? Is that the right kind of mindset, or do I not know what I'm talking about
Yeah,
here?
you have to. The reason Seven Pirates is incorporated in Hong Kong is because Hong Kong is a special administration district, which basically means that they're allowed more freedoms. Uh, because basically everything in China is controlled. Every company, every big company in China is controlled by China. So if you want to have your own freedom, you have to incorporate in Hong Kong. So.
Okay. So it's
That's
if
why a lot of
yeah.
business is done in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's going to open up a wrap. So let's go back to club life in Taiwan. So
Oh
Taipei,
yeah,
major city.
absolutely.
treat it like New York. You're married, so you're not like a young 20-year-old kid dropping E and rolling into the club for 6 hours straight. You're there as strictly an entertainer and a performer.
I am the entertainer for those 20-year-old kids who drop E and come into the club.
Now, most of them don't. They don't even drink. Most of them are there just for the music. I've heard all the stories. I went to college, but is LSD on the uprise in Taipei?
Sure.
Is LSD on the rise? Do people do that still?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I think my wife heard some key words there, and so she's like, "What are you guys talking about right now?"
Now, your wife. Is she an entertainer?
I don't know. No, she's not. I don't know anything about illegal drugs, and I don't do any illegal drugs. Actually, I don't even drink because how am I supposed to work if I'm drunk, right? You don't get drunk and then work. That'd be dumb. You'd lose your job, and so would I.
You know what's crazy about that is when I used to, I don't drink either, right? And one of the things I find great about it, one of the best benefits, not the lack of regrets and the money you save, and I don't need to unwind. I unwind naturally. It's the fact that any time of the day, morning, night, 3 a.m, if I have to wake up, I'm always sober, right? I can always work. I can always knock a project out if I want to. And that's like one of the best benefits of it that I think people don't talk about is you just forget. Like if you go down that drinking rabbit hole and drink every day, you lose like all of your productive hours.
You get lazy, for sure. It makes you lazy. You get a hangover. It's hard to be productive the next day, for sure.
Yeah. So can I hate to put you on the spot on this.
It's okay. I've pretty much answered all the questions.
You're doing
before,
so good because people are gonna be curious. Say, I want to hear some of his music. Well, if you were watching yesterday's live stream, I didn't know Uberox was a professional entertainer. Right? I saw his channel pop up a live stream where it was just him sitting in the middle of this huge room. It wasn't the scene hadn't been set up yet, and you were about to start a concert, and I was like, "Yo, let's go!" And I was talking about it on my live stream. And then the stream turns off, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll try that out again some other time. Not knowing you had a secondary channel where you actually host digital music, raves, online, what do you call it?
So I do a weekly DJ live stream every week, and then I also make music. So, it is what it is. I just do it for fun, just like I make Ark of War videos for fun. Everything is for fun, basically, just entertain yourself.
It's not just for fun. You're a lot of like 17-year-old kids are making YouTubes for fun. You're a legitimate professional. This is more than just fun. So okay, I'm going to show your MDD channel. This video here, this is one of the darker ones. Holding on.
Oh yeah, the ghost one, yeah.
Now I've seen most of these, but I haven't studied them.
Oh yeah.
So tell me about this video. You got a Chrysler here.
Yeah, so basically
there's you.
I hit her and then I'm like all scared and stuff, and then she appears in my car, so she's a ghost.
Yeah. So it's in Taiwanese or Mandarin, right?
It's in Mandarin, yeah.
But there is some elements of music, like the hook is in a little bit in English. I'm sorry, not music, English. So I can kind of catch what's going on. If I turn subtitles on, is it subtitled?
It's subtitled in Chinese, maybe.
Oh yeah, it won't let me. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's Holding On. The song is called Holding On. So just think about what that probably means. Something. It's art. It is what it is. Music is a universal language. But yeah, so I hit her, and then I'm like, what the hell? And then she appears in my car, and then she tries to run me over. I'm like, what? And then yeah. So it's and then I'm like, oh no, I'm alive. I didn't get hit. What's happening? She's a ghost. Now it's a ghost car. And I get back in my car. I'm like, I better get the hell out of here. Ah! And then drive. And then she appears in front of me again. I'm like, oh my god, I'm stuck in a time loop. So that's the video.
Dude, this is so good. The hook and everything. The time. Did you write this? Did you have a team on this?
So I wrote this with the girl who was in the music video. We wrote it together, and it was actually really quick. She's one of the most talented singers that I've worked with. I remember we ordered some pizza, and then the pizza came, and she was like, hold on, wait, just let me record something. I'm like, all right, sure. And then she just recorded this song, basically the entire thing in like 5 minutes, and I was like, that's it. That's the one. We're gonna use this. And then we
Dang.
had some pizza, and then we made it. Yeah.
Wow. And then so you have the idea for the lyrics, you got a hook set up, then it's like, all right, let's get a music video together. And this isn't your first rodeo. This isn't your first music video, but the professionalism is 100%. You could go and watch any major label record song produced with 100 million views, and the quality is there or even better. So how does that happen without making 100,000 on the video first? Like, how do you not make 100,000 on the song and still put out a video this good? How do you do that?
Well, see, it's tough to make money. If you've heard the term starving artist, then I'm certainly counting. I guess I'm not starving, but I'm pretty close. So every bit of money that I make, I invest back into my own videos, really. So, like yourself, you kind of just you make money and you invest it back in, and hopefully eventually one day you can make more than what you put back in. So. If I had already made tons of money, then I'd have a T12 ARC and I'd be the server boss. But I'm not. I'm like looking at T10. I'm like, damn, it's gonna cost me another $500. Crap.
Yeah. And I think about that too, because especially self-employed people that have gone a month without a paycheck, they think, yeah, it's hard to throw down $500 when I got an electricity bill to pay right now.
It's hard.
Yeah, and
So hard.
yeah. So I did my YouTube channel different. See, the way I monetized my art was I'm not selling a product. I'm selling a service, right? Like, in a way, I'm an entertainer, but what Patreon did, and YouTube doesn't make me any money. You know that, right?
Yeah.
There's
Like
no money on YouTube.
Yeah. Nothing.
But, I mean, Patreon is like, hey, $10-15 a month. And my promise is that I'm going to use the majority to make stuff in the hopes that people support it, right? It's not even about the money, because $30,000 a year on 5 days a work week, and then all the stuff in the background, and then spending 80-90%, there's no money. But in a couple of years, what I've done is I've learned an industry. I've made a ton of friends in the process, and it's been like the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And I've been able to hold down a normal job and my other stuff going on in my life. So it's become like the best hobby, right? So
I agree.
But if I wanted to, now that I know how to do it, is like, I could do the Patreon thing. I spent all the money on the gifts, right? I'm ready for the next thing. It's going to cost a couple $1,000s, and then there goes the Patreon money. But when you have a musician, how do you turn? Because music isn't really a service as much as an entertainment. Like, so how could you do? Musicians do Patreon? Is that even a thing?
I think there is. So there's no rules, right? You can do whatever you like. If you are like a live streaming type of musician, you can have like a Patreon, or you can have a live stream that gets like donations or subscriptions or gifts or whatever. There are musicians who work like that. I'm trying to kind of get into that because I see that as the future, but that's not my only way. I also do shows, right? I'm a DJ, so I get paid to DJ. I do write music for people. Like I said, I have a project right now that I'm working on a song for another gaming company. So that's how, basically I put out these songs, and then maybe the gaming company listens to my songs and they say, hey, this guy writes good music. Let's have him write us a song for our game. And then that's, it's kind of like a portfolio, I suppose.
Yeah.
The album itself doesn't make money. No, it doesn't make money at all. Music videos cost a ton to make, and they don't make anything back.
It almost seems to me like it's like once you get your first break with Blizzard says, we're going to have him do all the music for this new zone or this new expansion because he has that sound we're looking for. All of a sudden, you knock out 10, 12 songs for Blizzard. You make, what, 20 to 50,000 a piece. That pays the bills for a year. It gives you some more tools to work with. It gives you money to travel around and shake hands and kiss babies with other game developers.
Right.
Maybe you go back and remaster some of the songs for special videos they do or a new movie. So it's like almost like once you kick down that door, you ride that high, that company for a while.
Exactly.
And then there could be like, after that ends, there's a moment of scarcity. Maybe the whole market turns in that gaming department. Maybe a new type of music genre pops up and the type you're doing is just less trendy. Oh, is that? Oh, let's. Yeah, is that a thing? Like your early music, you were more like rap based, right? You were kind of Young Thug.
So people a lot yeah so my thought process is that the music industry and every industry really, including the gaming industry, is constantly evolving, and that if you want to survive, you have to evolve with it. So I've seen companies and people try to stay with whatever traditional method they work. They're like, oh, this way worked for us 10 years ago, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will work now.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should get people to get you to make a song for the Arc of War intro instead of the. No, I don't want to put you on the spot. Can I look up the one of your original videos, your younger videos? Do you mind? I should have asked before.
If you want to play, I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's like how do you say? Music is like a tattoo that you wear forever. And so basically, I got a tattoo when I was 13,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm still wearing it today. And it is what it is. It'll still be there after we're long and gone.
Right.
So why not?
Right. There's Uberox today, but if you like them today, you got to know that you get all of Uberox. You got to know all of it from the beginning in the younger years. What's the name of a good early video?
Just type in shoot. I'll just send you a link.
Okay. And now Machi Didi, Maki Machididi,
Yeah.
is that? You go by MDD
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, it's Machi DD, and I just shortened it to MDD because I felt like it was kind of too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me go ahead. I'll shoot you the link.
Okay, so this video, okay, we'll get to that link. This video right here. Oh, wait a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
I thought I was only showing.
I can see your screen.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this one here is the launch pad, and it says
Yeah.
you're back.
This
So
is
is this when you launched the channel?
2015.
So what I love about this video is, one, it has like 100-something thousand views, right? So
Yeah.
it obviously hit more than just your normal fans. People saw this.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard, right? It comes out hard, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a very, like, if you don't know what kind of budget you're working with, if you don't even think
Yeah.
about the budget, it's just like, this is meant to be like a focused piece, intense piece. The music matches the eyes, and the song, right? I don't even know the lyrics to it, but then I look back and I go, oh, this is like a really low budget too. Like, you were able to
Yeah.
you were able to do this cheap. And then I was like, well, what's the next element? Because I know you can't just do 2.5 minutes straight, right? So what do? You bust out this thing. What is this called?
Oh yeah, it's called the launch pad. It's a MIDI controller.
Sorry. So it's a MIDI controller. Check this out.
Yeah. This is actually the old version.
Super loud,
Like
sorry.
stuff.
So you actually have the launch pad. I'm back, bitches! Oh, that's sick!
Yeah.
Now, is this actually dubbed over, or is this live? Because it matches the song perfectly.
Yeah, so I play it live, and then I programmed the lights on the launch pad, because the launch pad it's not like that. If you were to buy a launch pad and plug it in, it's a MIDI controller. It does not do those cool effects. And actually, this video is about 5 years old, and that's kind of what got me into doing visuals, where I realized that visuals can have quite a strong effect.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why I thought, let's not do these little silly 64 LEDs. Let's do like a whole, we have much more control over it if we do a screen, with actual video and not just LEDs.
I think it's fascinating. You're one of the most fascinating people I've ever met in Arc of War, and I've met a lot of people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. I actually started playing Arc of War because I was like watching your videos, and I was like, I got to learn about this game because it's so complicated. So I just like opened up the beginners series and I watched them all. So
That's one of my tattoos, man. That's one of my tattoos. That's whenever people tell me that, I go, oh, I'm thankful that people watched the video and started playing, and I got to know them later on. There's a lot of people out there, I'm sure. Every time I hear that, they're like, and I tell people at the same time, oh, I never recommend this game to my friends. Anonymous people on YouTube, yeah, I'll tell them it's great. My real life friends, no. guys, don't do it. But
I'm the same way. I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah, so that's a sick video. All right. Did you find the younger video? I got to show the younger Uberox.
I sent you a message, yeah,
Discord?
on Discord. You should be able to see it.
So at this point in the video, people that are still here have lost interest if it's not about Arc of War what they were looking for, and now they're just here because they're fascinated by the music in this industry and what you've done.
We
So-
should talk a little bit about Arc of War. We could do that though.
Okay, but after we show this video, now I'm trying to find the chat. Maybe it's up here. Okay. Oh, this is awesome. What does Machi Didi mean?
It just means like your good younger brother, your cool younger brother.
Ah. Okay, and now it's MDD simplified. Now this says karaoke. Is this not one of your original songs?
No, it is the karaoke version, so you can sing along to it.
Ah. Have you ever gone into a club or a karaoke bar? Well, do you often go to karaoke bars, and have you ever heard someone singing one of your songs?
They always tell me to sing it, and I'm just like, not again.
You're like, I didn't come to the bar to perform my own music.
Well, I didn't, yeah, because like, I mean, let's see. I've probably performed this song like 1,000 times, not exaggerating. So, yeah, it's like, fuck.
So
not
this,
again.
so this venue, right? This venue is it's nice. It's a nice venue. It's a theater.
It's a school.
Okay.
It's a school. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and then the decorations were already there. Did you guys come in and add the characters?
This was a school. This actually is a actual school, and that's, I think, I'm not sure if they put that picture up or if that was already there before, but you're pretty much getting to see what a Taiwan school looks like. I don't know. Yeah, the funny thing about that song is that the other guy in the video, that's my cousin, and he was the one who got me into all of this stuff. And he's like, "Hey Andrew, you just write a song, and if it's good, I'll put it in my album." And so I wrote this song, and I had no idea what I was doing. So for the chorus, I kind of just made up a bunch of crap, and I was like, well, maybe like he'll help me later and like put in some lyrics. And then they just said, nah, we're just gonna leave it like that, just how it is. And they did.
And that's
And
what
it was
sucks,
released.
right? You put out a piece of music, it gets popular, and you can't go back and change it. That's it.
Well, the funny thing is, like, actually, now that I think about it, it's like a child's creativity, where like an adult might think of things differently. Like an adult would always be like, we got to put lyrics to the chorus, right? And then a kid's just like, nah, I'm not gonna say any lyrics at all in my chorus. And so you can see during the chorus, it's just like they put a bunch of like weird characters to signify that or something like that. Like I think it says bow, which is not actually what I'm saying, but I guess they kind of liked how like, hey, this kid is creative, it's interesting or something.
Yeah, so this is
Okay,
where's the chorus start? Right here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how plain it was until you said that. Because the music and the beat distracts you, the video distracts you. But yeah, it does feel empty now that you say that.
Yeah, and then I was with Warner Music at the time, and they're like, "No, Andrew, we think it's great." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah, they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna release it just like that." I'm like, "Just like that?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh."
So
Okay.
how old were you in that video?
I think I was about 12 years old.
12 years old. All right, so that
Yeah.
goes public. Now how does that, what happens here? Was YouTube that popular back then?
No, there's no YouTube.
12 years
There's
ago.
no
How old are you now?
YouTube at the time. I'm 30.
So you're 30. That was when you were 18 years ago. So 2002.
Yeah.
So YouTube
Yeah.
was there, but it wasn't YouTube yet.
Oh no, YouTube came out in like 2003 or 2004.
Oh,
or
okay, then
something.
YouTube wasn't there. But so where
Yeah,
did it
there's
go?
no YouTube.
It was Warner Music.
It
so that's
was
a
on
big-
TV.
Sorry.
It was on TV. People still bought CDs. It was a different time, man. It was different. Times were different.
So when this
There's
went,
no iPhone.
what happened after this?
I'm sorry, say again?
So what happened after this? You make this in March. The video gets done. What happens after?
Oh, so we just did an album and we just released the songs, and I had a record label at the time, so then they just had me do a bunch of performances. So I really never, I was just a kid, and I kind of didn't really, I don't know, a lot of kids have stage fright, and I just never really had that. I remember my first performance, they're just like, all right, go out there and sing your song. I'm like, all right, here I go. And then, yeah.
Now, did your whole life change at that point? Like, did school change? Did like your summers change, or was it just like I'm
Only
ready to
thing
make my
that
next song?
the only thing that really changed for me is that I got bullied later on because of this, which it sounds weird, but yeah, I got bullied, and so that's really the only thing. But it's not a really big a matter because as I grew older, I was just like, as an adult, you just decide who you want to be. You can't play the victim complex and be like, oh, I got bullied when I was a kid, so now I'm gonna be a victim complex
For the
adult,
rest of my life,
you
yeah.
know.
So wow, so that because I think the trajectory of something like this, I mean, obviously the YouTube views today don't represent what it was then, but having your own YouTube video in 2002, or having your own video made in a label in 2002, and then to carry on a music career all the way into your adult life, you've seen and done a lot. I gotta
Yeah.
ask people because it's hard. Listen. I don't know how to interview actual, people that have done cool things. No offense to everyone I've interviewed. We talk about Arc of War usually, but I mean,
We
what?
should talk about
Oh yeah,
Arkham.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, we will, we will.
It's okay. It's all good. I'm
No,
I'm free anyways.
it's totally fascinating to me. I think it's so cool because even
Thank you.
though it seems like, oh, this is in Taiwan, like, oh, it's different than if it was in America, and it's like, no, it's not different. Like, this is its own thing in its own industry that probably reached out into local areas, and then this career carried on for 18 more years, and you went on to make more music, more videos, more shows. Now you're married, you still do shows. Um, do you have like well, actually, I want to ask you this first. What's the coolest thing you can remember of doing this stuff in this line of work since you were a kid? Like, what's one of the funner things?
Honestly, it's so much more fun now than it ever was when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, you're a kid. You can't do anything. You do what people tell you. You do what their adults tell you to do, and you don't get to have fun except for play video games. But now that I'm adult, like I get to party, like if I want to.
Yeah.
I'm the DJ, so it's like as the DJ, you are literally backstage. You get to hang out with all the VIPs. So whoever's the VIP in that day, you get to hang out with them. You get to say hi to them, and you get instant rapport because you're like, "Hey, I'm the DJ," and they're like, "Oh, cool. You're a cool guy. Let's talk. Let's chat. I have a drink."
Yeah.
So it's so much more fun now, for sure.
Do you feel like your connections to your fans are is disconnected? Like one of the things I've noticed about doing the YouTube channel is all the people I play with. I mean, I can name the names off, but anyone from Replay of the Week and the Tuesday Newsday Show and the Meme Review Show, I know all these people in real life. I've actually talked to them in real life on personal things, and as time goes on, I'll talk to more. So I feel a very close connection. Do you feel that connection to the people who follow your music, or is there like a big disconnect because you never had Instagram back then?
Back then, there was not a connection, but because of the evolution of the music industry, this connection, how the way that you're doing it is very important to the modern musician. Like this is getting into like kind of like the music business, but as the music business evolves and we have the internet, there's so much stuff to consume. So you have to have that connection with your viewers. It's very important, absolutely. Now, not
Yeah.
before.
So when you do your live streams, like a
Yeah,
DJ live stream show, like there you are,
yeah,
time to turn your music on. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my show. You've been here before. That's
yeah,
because you got the notification. You hit the bell icon. Here's what I've
yeah.
made. Let's go. Um,
Hmm.
do you recognize the same viewers? Do you give them the shout outs, or is it
Yeah,
always just
for sure.
randoms?
Yeah, definitely. Just same way that you do it. Just shout out the guys that you've seen before. Welcome to them to the stream. Saying hi, making your viewers feel important. It's very important because they could choose anyone's stream and they chose your
Your
stream,
stream.
right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I mean, I've watched the industry change from CDs and TV to going onto the internet where there's so much more freedom and there has to be a connection because in the past, to put simply and very quickly, in the past if someone wanted to hear your music, they had to buy your CD. But now music is free. So there's no point to just being like, "Hey, want to listen to my music because it's all free." So how do you get them to go beyond that? Well, that's developing that connection with people. And actually, Arc of War has taught me a lot, which is why it's one of my favorite hobbies because running the guild actually has taught me so much about um, dealing with people because people act surprisingly like real life in the game, which is it's actually scary how serious. I mean, obviously, when you spend thousands of dollars on a game, you're going to treat it very seriously. I almost imagine it as like a microcosm of real life itself, just like a simplified model that only has combat, but it really is like real life. Absolutely. My experience is that there are always a few exceptional members in your guild, and they are hard to find. They're exceptional. I would say maybe like 1 in 100, and you need to find them and keep them and do your best to make them happy. It's very difficult, but one exceptional player, in my opinion, is worth 10 or more regular players. Well, personally, for my guild, I try to create incentives. I used to think of the guild as like a business where you had like the boss, but then I realized that was actually not correct. The guild is more like a government where you pay your taxes and you don't do anything illegal, and the government pretty much just leaves you alone and they don't try to micromanage you. And so that's how I approach the guild, where you just, just I don't like to micromanage at all, and I try to just keep things fun. My point being that I did have a point. I kind of forgot. I just kind of went off on, but yeah, I'll put in it. Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that was my point that I was going to tell you. So basically, Uh, the lessons that I learned from playing Ark of War is that you have to create a guild, right? And you need to find these exceptional players, and you need to build a team, because this is a team game. You cannot win by yourself, even if you spend a lot. I mean, you'd have to spend a lot of money if you want to be like a solo boss, right? I mean, even then, let's say you were like this super badass solo boss, full March Rogers T12 in the cap. Well, you could have like 50 dudes just one slot busting you, and you would take
Hmm.
tons of damage, and that would be they would literally, boom, sleep bomb, one slot bust. They'll never take any damage ever, right? So I was like, okay, so we need to find these good members and we need to keep them. So incentives. So what I do is I keep a spreadsheet that basically tracks what I call participation points. And that's just so that everyone can have a good idea of how much they're participating. And the participation points consist of donating to the guild bank or the war chest as we call it, participating in galactic battle, and doing guild mobilization. So you do these three things and you gain points. And that way, if I ever want to kick someone, I can say, well, you weren't contributing enough to the guild. And it's not a personal thing. I'm not kicking you because I don't like you. It's just that we are a hardcore PvP guild and we're just going to have to send you to the casual guild. So, and it also creates a kind of competition between the guild members to be rank number one, right? So that's the incentive where it's like, hey, I want to be the guy with the most points. And the points don't really mean anything, but at the same time, it's kind of like you get respect, right? You can be known as a very active player. You get a little bit of respect there. The other thing that I do is we just had our first birthday for STL, and I held awards. And I made a Google form and I just said, okay, let's vote. Let's everyone vote on MVP. MVP. Let's vote on Rookie of the Year. Let's vote on the most improved player. and I just let the players vote, and we had a little Discord chat, and everyone got to vote, and it was a fun little thing. These little activities are things that can build loyalty in your guild, and just help uh, keep members, because there's nothing to stop the good players from leaving to another guild. Like nothing at all, right? You can server migrate, boom, you're gone, right? Don't like your guild, boom, just server migrate away. So how are you going to keep someone, except especially someone who's exceptional? There's going to be so many people messaging them say, "Hey, you want to come to our guild?" How are you
Yeah.
going to stop them?
Yeah, the more
By
they get involved in
making
the community, especially. And I want to throw this out there. So you have 3 metrics that you measure that clearly tells you, are they participating in mobilization, yes or no, and how much? Are they donating to the World Chest for the big players to build their high-end army so we can compete in Galactic Battle or help people with repair costs? And the third one was, are you donating during the donation of the guild event? Those 3 things,
Galactic Battle.
or Galactic Battle too. Okay, so there's multiple ways though, and the problem is those metrics, they take time. It's work to gather that data. It is. It's
Yeah,
literally work, right? So why
yeah,
doesn't it's all in the game? All that data's in the
I
game.
know.
Why doesn't the game collect it for us? We have reputation points for
It
fighting in
should.
capitals, which is useful
It
too.
should.
But it doesn't
Yeah,
doesn't say like what their average is over the last 30 days, right? It just says all
yeah.
time, right? There should be another tab, guild metrics. Who's donated the
That would be
most?
fantastic.
Dude, over the last 30 days, what's their average mobilization score? What's their average donation to the guild upgrades? I know that
Yeah.
one sucks because there's a diminishing return, but how well do they do in Galactic Battle? And that's a little skewed because the tier 12 usually does better. But there should be data that's just easier to gather. So players don't have to ask you for the
Absolutely.
spreadsheet, right? If you have 50 players that are truly interested, which is what you want, you don't want
Yeah.
50 people asking you, "Hey, do you want to send the spreadsheet out?" You get to a point, okay, I always send it out every other day. It's like now every other
Yeah.
day you're doing a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we have it in the Discord channel, so it's just there and you can view it anytime. And actually, for our application process, I make it kind of difficult just so that people can't. It's kind of like a gatekeeping process where I make them take a test. There's actually a test that you got to take to get into STL, but it's not really there to test you. It's more like, are you willing to put in the effort to take this test? And then if you are, then that means that you're not just a lazy guy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and like even if you don't know the answers to the questions, like it's okay,
That's
we can
okay.
teach you. We can teach you. If you're willing, we could teach
Yeah,
you. Okay.
exactly.
Very smart.
Yeah,
Yeah, Discord for organization is better than spreadsheets and emails. My apologies. Uh,
yeah,
a nice
yeah.
innovation
Just
there.
have a yeah.
Uh,
We have a channel.
I've got to throw this out there. I accidentally muted my mic at 47 minutes for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then I unmuted it and
Okay.
panicked. I didn't want to cut you
Oh,
off. So,
okay.
anyone that's
Okay.
watching this
Well.
video and going, why did he start talking about when I said stick a pin in it? My mic was actually
Oh,
off for the
okay.
recording. But anyway, so we're
That's
we're all
okay.
good now. But
Okay.
what about advice for young? I think there's a lot of guilds out there that aren't tier 12 Galactic Battle guilds, and I give that
Yeah.
perspective a lot, and that's not the majority of
Mm-hmm.
players. What could you give to an up and coming guild and group of officers that have the right mindset and maybe some of the right people to take that guild to the next level and become like a nice foster home for ambitious players that want to get organized?
Sure. Our guild, we made top 32 this season. We only have two tier 12 players, and not even full March. We have one player that has uh, one and a half full slots. The other guy has, I think, three or four full slots.
Wow.
And so, um, what you need is a battle commander. You have to have one person who gives the orders and on how to attack, because a lot of times the players don't really know what to do, and the strategy for Galactic Battle is very complex. I mean, Galactic Battle is so, like, if you thought Centicon was difficult, Galactic Battle is like 100 times more difficult than that is. So you absolutely need a battle commander who can be able to give out orders. Having people on Discord is a definite plus. I mean, having them on voice chat is a definite plus. Um, Actually, on the test that when you apply to STL, it very clearly states when you go into Galactic Battle, once a week. Like we're a chill guild. Like I said, I run the guild for fun, and everyone just has fun. But once a week during those 2 hours, you are a soldier, and you listen to the battle commander. You obey his orders exactly to what he says, and you're serious. So once a week, we got to be serious. And now the rest of the time, everyone can mess around and have fun. No big deal. No one really cares. Small caps, whatever. Do whatever the hell you want. But once a week, you got to be serious. And so that means no disobeying, no arguing, no crap in the chat, no spam in the chat with crap. And you have to be smart because we actually beat MVP
Wow.
in one of the matches, which was hilarious, and we actually won by points. And maybe they didn't have their big guy on, so that's why we won. But we won by points, regardless, and it was because we were smart, right? We were winning. As soon as we had that point lead, we stopped sending marches. I was calculating the amount of time necessary for us to jump out, right? Because if you jump out at an hour and like an hour or an hour 30 minutes, no, sorry, if you jump out at 1 hour, then you have the point lead. They can't win, right?
Right.
Because they can't take your base, right? So I was calculating that. I was getting the point lead and just actually trying to get everyone to jump out at the same time is actually really, really difficult. We had a guy who went AFK. He got zeroed and gave up a bunch of points.
No.
And we almost lost that match because he went AFK and got himself zeroed in Galactic Battle.
Damn.
Yeah. And after that, I had to message him and tell him that he had to go. Well, I actually asked him to leave the guild for a little bit, and I said, you can come back later. It's fine. But he was very upset about that, I guess, because some people don't really get the concept that Galactic Battle is very serious, and a lot of people spend a lot of money on Galactic Battle too. I mean, once you get to the high end, most of your money is going towards Galactic Battle.
Yeah.
So that's why I take it very seriously, because let's say my tier 12 player, I send him in, I say, okay, you're our tier 12 guy, get into the fort. All right, he's our only tier 12 guy. He loses his march because of me. He might have to spend $100 to get it back, right?
least.
And
What's
so
his
that's
name?
on me.
What's his name?
So I take it very seriously. We have our bosses are Moldy Cheese and Just Me. Those are our two tier 12 players that we have.
Moldy Cheese.
So
What a name.
Moldy Cheese, yeah.
Oh, jeez. And who was the player that got zeroed? We got to call him out. That's part of his punishment.
Oh,
Come on.
no.
Let the world know.
No, just let bygones be bygones. I played him in Peak and he beat me, so, he got his revenge.
I'm such a bad host, man. I realize I've done so many things wrong. Okay, I didn't have my mic muted. There's probably going to be an echo. I didn't have your window set up in Streamlabs this whole time. Didn't have my green screen on my chair. What am I doing? What am I doing, man? I'm a mess.
Oh, no. So is the stream gonna have the video, or is it? I mean, if you want to talk about some things again, we can talk about it.
No,
again.
no,
It's
you're
fine.
you're good. You're right up here. I don't know if
Okay.
you see me, but no, I got you in the
I
top.
can see you.
Yeah, you look good on my screen. I actually had to add the window over because I kept changing and it would drop you out. But I think it worked out really well. So I think, dude, I would love to do another 3 hours. I would. I really do. But I think we should.
Sure.
End it early and just bring up what we talked about, right? Like the whole music industry, entertainment career, your ability to use tech and utilize software, I think is a huge asset for the game, the community. I think I'd love to see you do more stuff with it. And deep down, I'd love you to make more Arc of War music. I know, there's no money in it, but I'm telling you, like, you will get so much joy. That'll be the payment. There'll be so much joy from the players. No, but that whole concept, your music industry history was fascinating. But I think what players should really take away from this whole thing, in case they just skip to the end, is that incentivizing your officers and not letting them burn out on trivial stuff is so important. And taking
Absolutely.
doing the work. Like, everyone hates losing their good players because sometimes you lose 2 or 3 good players at once. If one good player leaves, they usually got a couple friends. If you can incorporate that into data, metrics where you can collect their data and share it with the guild and make little mini competitions out of it. People might think, well, I'm not going to run a Rookie of the Year contest between my players. They don't even know half the players in the guild. It's like, they don't know half the players in the guild yet. But if you start collecting that data and you have a Discord and you put that information out and players start talking about it in guild and people start getting interested, let that manifest for a couple of months, all of a sudden you have that kind of guild you want to be in. You don't have to go find it. You can make it yourself. And a lot of guilds are really close, or they're just looking for that edge. So I think that data you provided is actually really useful. Do you think every guild should have a Discord?
I do believe that Discord is the best communication application right as of now. I do think it beats Line because of its ability to store information and have different channels.
Yeah. I'm guilty of using Line too much. It's just so convenient. And it's simple.
It is. It's simple. It has its benefits as being simple.
Discord really kind of rips people apart into different chat rooms, and there's a learning curve there.
There is a little learning curve.
Yeah. It's not a bad one. But it can also be overwhelming because, like, you go look at a certain channel and then you look at the dates, or you see someone post something. You say, "When was this? 2018. What am I looking at?" You scroll down.
I try to keep it organized, the Discord, to make sure that nothing like that happens. But I do use Discord as, like I said, kind of like a gatekeeper, where it's like, if you really want to be in the guild and you've never used Discord before, well, how much do you want to be in? You want to be in bad enough? You will download Discord. Right? You will figure it out because you want to be in the guild. So if you didn't want it that bad, okay, it's no problem. Don't need to download Discord. It's fine. There's another guild for you.
Have you guys opened up recruitment on your guild like pretty openly since you started doing YouTube? And how has that gone?
Yeah. We have recruitment is open, and it is always been pretty much open. Some people have contacted me, but I think, like, for example, the Baba Yaga, the guy who does a lot of those memes, and Kirky Kirkham, they're both in our guild. And before you gave them the meme, before you gave them award, I actually already gave them award in Discord, and I gave them the Meme Lord title on my Discord.
They're so decorated. They're so good. They are. No, they're good players. They're good community players. They're interested. They're funny. Yeah. They're the right kind of people.
Yeah, you definitely want those types of players who will chat. Actually, I view chatting and not being silent as being very important because it's a team game, and the important thing about teams is communication. So if you don't ever talk, then that's going to be a big issue, for sure.
Yeah, and to add to your point about galactic battle being a different thing, and discipline, and being the war chief during that period of time, and what's at stake. Every time you issue an order, remember in Ender's game, I always relate back to Ender's game, where Ender didn't know he was, well, spoiler alert, he didn't know he was sending people to their deaths, right? He was just playing a game. But if you send a big boss player to full march your capital to hold, right now, we've got to hold, send your everything, and if they lose, you don't know what the enemy might send. If they lose, that repair bill is the only way to pay for it is money, right?
Exactly.
Time speed ups, and it costs them money. Not you. You gave the order, but it's them paying for it. So everyone's got to get in suit. And if someone doesn't, there's got to be punishment. Otherwise, your boss players may not be so willing to comply with you, right?
Exactly. So, oh my goodness.
Right? Because
if totally right.
Why should they take your orders when they have everything to lose if the other guys that have less to lose aren't even listening? So Win had that problem. Galactic Battle, we said no attacking arcs, no sharing replays, and a couple people broke orders, so they got kicked from the guild for a little bit.
Oh man, and when they get kicked, they get so mad.
They do.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't get it. They think, why did you kick me? And I'm thinking, the truth is, you're not as important as our boss player. That's the reason why.
But also justice. Just justice. There's a little bit of shame that comes with it. It's just, it's human, man. It's part of reinforcement, whether you like it or not. It's a form of corporal punishment.
Yeah, it's important. Man, I've had to deal with those. It really takes a lot out of me when I have to deal with this type of issue where the disobeying player does not understand why. And I have to say, no, I have to kick you, and maybe you can come back, maybe you can reapply. And the reason is, as you said, because the boss, if your guild is not cooperating, that like the other, like literally the enemy guild, if they see your boss player is really doing well, they'll like send him a mail and be like, hey, do you want to come to our guild next season? Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you need to make sure your guild doesn't have players, okay, one guy can mess everything up for you in Galactic Battle. So you need to get rid of those people, or take care of them as soon as possible. Otherwise, your guild could be at risk. Your boss players could just leave you next season because they're just like, this is too much. I want to be in a guild that has players who cooperate, and those do exist.
Yeah, because if they get frustrated with you thinking you can't manage the guild, that just becomes, that just snowballs. And I gotta interrupt our interview real quick. Honey, are you okay? We might have a cameo here. You good? She's like, and she used to come through the door and yell at me. Now she doesn't want her voice on YouTube, so she just calls me and.
Mine's the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, if I say something.
Does she play Ark of War?
I might. No. She does. She doesn't. She was kind of against it at first, but I kept telling her like, no, actually, I'm learning a lot about real life. I'm learning about how society works and how the world works in this hobby. So it's a good hobby. It's good. Don't worry. I didn't tell her it costs a lot of money, and then she saw the credit card bill. She's like, this is a lot of money. But I said, listen, I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I spent a lot of money. Yes, I did, but no regrets because life lessons and entertainment together. And it's not like it's unhealthy. I mean, it could be unhealthy, I suppose. Anything can be, but it's not like directly harmful to your health like something like alcohol is. So
yeah, it's not a bar tab.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you work at clubs. You know how quick a bar tab can get into the thousands.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so cool, man. That's what a cool life. Well, all right, we should cut this interview short. Leave people wanting more.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot more we could talk about, but maybe we could do like a part 2 or something.
I know. I'm so in. I'm so down. Uberox.
Okay.
You have a YouTube channel. Anyone can find it by searching youtube.com user Uberific2408, or just look for the cat riding a unicorn. You can also check out your other
maybe
channel.
Just like my Instagram. I'll just link my Instagram account, and that'll let people reach me or whatever.
I noticed your Instagram is not on your Uberox YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's just, it's not like on purpose or anything. It's just because I haven't really put much effort into the gaming stuff.
Okay, so if people want to find you, what's the best way?
I'll just Instagram. I'll go ahead and give you a link. You can just post it in the description.
I'll put it in the description of this video, and then the links to his channel. And if you want to follow him and his music and watch his live stream comments, I'll put the link to that channel too. Hit the bell icon to see when he goes live. And when do you normally stream? Thursdays?
Yeah, Thursdays. For American viewers, the time is a little bit early for you guys, so you could watch the stream, or you could just check out my music. There's a lot of music videos. If you could listen, to them if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm Pacific. You're 13 hours or 14 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
So what is the other thing? Is there any chance, if there's any chance that I can send you a file of all the Ark of War sounds, that you might mix them into an Ark of War song, just a short, like 30-second song? Like, is there a chance that might happen?
I wouldn't be against doing it. It's just that I don't think it would be that great. Like,
it'd be so
I
good.
think it sounds good in theory, right? But you want to make something original. You want to make something. You don't want to put stuff in there that people have already heard before. Or if you do, you want to put your own creative twist on it. Otherwise, it's not going to have any impact. So that's
though, the first song is never as good as the second song. So don't aim too high on the first one. Just get that ball rolling. Come on, man. I want it so bad. All right. I won't hound you anymore. I appreciate you doing the interview and opening up about your life story and what you're doing on Ark of War. I think it'll help a lot of people.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for having the interview with me, Melt. I appreciate it a lot.
I'm happy to do it. All right, then. Then I will see you soon, and look forward to interview number 2.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.